My GF is planning on breaking up with me. Too long didn't read. She did. Both 24, my GF sent me a message saying we urgently need to talk tomorrow. Things have been a bit rough for the last week. It sounds most likely like a breakup. She wants me to drive to her place, which is 45 minutes away, pick her up and go get lunch. I feel as if it is pretty rude to want me to go to her if she is going to break up with me. Would it be out of line to ask her to just call me instead to discuss what is so urgent? The relationship has been going for 1.5 years and I do not need a face-to-face breakup for closure. A call or text would do. Edit, it is highly unlikely that it's pregnancy since she has an implant. To drive the point home, she has been on her period for a while, common side effect with this implant. Edit 2, also to address my lack of agency and that I have checked out, refer to this comment I made. I do still care, but my paranoia is turning myself against her, internally. Additionally, I made a bit of a half-ass post in order to vent. Main issue is I think can accept a breakup, but making someone go out of their way to potentially break up is cruel. I do realize this mostly stems from paranoia. I am not sure what to expect now, but I will tough it out and just go and find out. Comment I made, you can never be certain, but it seems that way. She has been acting like a completely different person and I asked her multiple times if things are okay, she kinda just ignores the question. Eventually she must have built up the courage to tell me we need to talk. She has just sort of shut herself off from me, I can't tell why. I guess this has led to a bit of paranoia and some anger on my behalf that I'm just internally brewing. Pretty much I can accept if she no longer has feelings anymore, I can't change that, but I'm starting to feel neglected, making me have resentment. I don't think you should treat someone this way if you just want to iron out some issues. Final edit. Since I can't make a new post. Yes, she did break up with me. Yes, I drove, ate lunch and dropped her home. I did the mature thing. Thanks to everyone who wished me luck. It doesn't make sense for her wanting to break up. Why have someone pick you up to go for lunch, then eat food and break up, and have them drive you back in some awkward silence, lol. If that's how you feel, then sure. But are you positive she wants to break up? You can never be certain, but it seems that way. She has been acting like a completely different person and I asked her multiple times if things are okay, she kinda just ignores the question. Eventually she must have built up the courage to tell me we need to talk. She has just sort of shut herself off from me, I can't tell why. I guess this has led to a bit of paranoia and some anger on my behalf that I'm just internally brewing. Pretty much I can accept if she no longer has feelings anymore, I can't change that, but I'm starting to feel neglected, making me have resentment. I don't think you should treat someone this way if you just want to iron out some issues. Rough for 1 week and you think of breakup? I think something else happened to her which she might feel ashamed of, and made her more distant to you, and now she finally has the courage to tell you, and it's something better said face to face. It would be cruel if she let you drive for 45 minutes, go get lunch and then she breaks with you. Of course there are people out there like that, but would she be able to do that? That's something for you to decide. I don't think she will break up. Sounds more like a how can we make it through these rough times. I think she, as well as you, wouldn't be getting lunch or even have the need to eat when you want to break up. I'd be inclined to just ask her, hey, I'm sorry if I've read this wrong, but is tomorrow a breakup talk? If it is, I appreciate you trying to do it the right way, but I'd actually rather we just talk it out now over the phone. The whole drive back and forth won't help me with closure and I'd appreciate the opportunity to process on my own. My 39F stepdaughter, 19F, is overly protective over my baby. I've been in Manda's life for 4 years now and we get along perfectly fine. She had a regular upbringing, so nothing I can think of to warrant this behavior. I gave birth to a son 3 months ago and quite literally from the start it was like fighting Manda for him. I'd ask several times to hold him and she'd ignore me, or her dad would ask and she'd reluctantly hand him over. When I am holding him she's hovering as though I'll drop him. I'll pick him up or play with him and she'll be hovering and saying careful or don't do that, as though she's his mother and I'm being reckless. She'll ask for him to sleep in her room as my husband won't have him go sleeping with us anymore, He'll spend 5/7 nights sleeping in with her now. He'll cry and she'll soothe him before I even have a chance. I'm honestly starting to feel like an imposter in my own family. I've spoken to my husband and he can't explain why she behaves this way, and up till our son was born we got along well. I'll talk to her and she'll apologize but then go straight back to doing it with zero explanation, and my husband allows it. I'm starting to think she has to move out because of it. I can't deal with the overbearing, controlling aspect of it all. She'll be 20 in June, so I wouldn't be kicking a child out. I just don't know what to do because I love her, but I love my son more and would actually like to parent him without her in the way. If I could rationalize her behavior, maybe we'd come up with a solution, but as I said, I can't. I don't know if there's any advice I can be given, but if there is, I'm open to hearing it. You need to stop being a doormat. This is your child. So what if she wants to keep him and your husband doesn't want to co-sleep? This is your child, for goodness sake. Tonight just be firm and say no, he is going to be staying with me. Accept now that they will be upset, but it doesn't matter. Stand up for yourself. You are the mother. Stop allowing your baby to sleep in your stepdaughter's room, for one thing. Stop it tonight. I would also suggest family therapy, or at least counseling for her. This is bordering on obsession and it's only going to confuse the baby. Nip it in the bud immediately. Stand your ground, mama. This WTF is the baby in someone else's room at night. The 19-year-old obviously has some kind of hormonal or psychological malfunction going on, but letting her basically help parent the baby is likely making it way worse. Girl, when my baby brother was born, I was 8 years old and obsessed with him. I was just all over that baby, man, constantly cuddling, constantly dragging him around, helping changing diapers, helping put him in his high chair. Slept on a trundle bed under my own bed when he was little, and then on the bottom bunk while slept on the top bunk when he was bigger. OMG. I couldn't get enough of him. There wasn't a picture of him as a baby without me holding him. But even at 8, I knew boundaries. I never fought my mother for the baby, never corrected her. As an adult, I'm still obsessed with babies and toddlers, but I know my place. Just because I adore something doesn't make me its mother. I can be an awesome role model, an awesome sister, an awesome teacher/mentor, but unless I am actually someone's mother, I'm not their mother. Your husband needs to put his daughter in therapy because this is above your pay grade. Your stepdaughter is way too old to not know what boundaries are and not know where her place as his sister is. I'm all for sibling bonding and even being like a second mother, but there is a hard red line between trying to mother a baby and actually being their mother. When you say something, that is, in-law, when it comes to that baby, you say hand him over. She better hand him over. If she can't obey that every single time, she can't be around him until she does. It sucks you have to be that way, but you need to set up boundaries for the sake of the entire family. Not just for your baby, but for Amanda as well. Until she learns where her place is and the boundaries she needs to respect, that baby needs to not sleep in the room with her, or else that baby is going to be very confused shortly. She's plenty old enough to be sat down and given firm boundaries. If she can listen the first time, she doesn't get to hold baby. No more sleeping in her room for baby either. Anything that puts her into a mother role should be squashed during this talk. Otherwise she'll start stealing firsts and it's going to just escalate from here. Talk to your husband and discuss what healthy boundaries you feel comfortable with for your stepdaughter. Then approach her together and enact said boundaries. Call her out when she breaks them until she stops. My 21F BF, 22 meters, is annoyingly paranoid I'm going to get pregnant. The first time I ever had sex with my current BF, I told him I was on birth control. He still wanted to wear a condom, which I agreed, but still for some reason pulled out at the end. I didn't think anything of it until we hung out the next day and he was super nervous around me, until he asked me if he thought he should get me a plan B. I laughed at first, but he was dead serious. I told him no, there's literally no chance and it'd just be a waste of money. The next day he left one in a grocery bag on my doorstep. Every time we have sex, it goes like that. He also tracks my periods, and on the day I'm predicted, he texts me multiple times asking me if I got it yet. It makes me feel more like an object than a girlfriend, and definitely doesn't make me feel attractive or desirable. I talked to him about it and he said he had a pregnancy scare when he was 18. I asked him what happened and he said his girlfriend at the time was late on her period for weeks and he was convinced he was going to be a dad, and that's not something he wants until he's a lot older. I understand his side, as ridiculous as it may be. Those are his feelings, but I told him my own feelings on it and he agreed he had no reason to be so paranoid all the time. Even after stressing to him how I felt, a couple weeks later my period was one day late, and he dropped pregnancy tests off to me and asked me to take them. After that, I told him to f.ck off. I was 100% planning on talking to him again and stressing more how his paranoia makes me feel in order to maybe move past this, until 2 weeks later I just get a text practically begging me to take the tests and send him pictures of it. He apologized over texts and said something along the lines of, "I just can't stop thinking you're pregnant and scared to tell me, so you broke up with me. I just need advice if you guys think this is something that can be worked through or if it's even worth it." He needs professional help for his anxiety, and you need to decide if you can really be happy in a relationship like this. Good on you for upholding reasonable boundaries and not giving in to his paranoia. I completely understand not wanting kids yet, but damn. At that point I would question if you are even the right woman for him if he is that stressed over it. Also, he can just get a vasectomy if he is seriously that concerned. It sounds like he's got a real problem and probably shouldn't be having sex. If you want to continue with him and the sex, then I think you need to accept his excess anxiety but also set some boundaries to make it manageable for you. For example, you might need to agree to an occasional pregnancy test when you are late, but could insist that you'll only do that after being a week late and don't expect him to even mention it to you until then. You don't want him tracking your cycle, but perhaps you agree to use an app so you can track it. I'd say no to regularly taking Plan B. That doesn't seem like a good use of money or a particularly safe thing to do. Allowing him to pull out seems reasonable but would probably limit your options in terms of positions and could be messy. Please don't take a Plan B every time you have sex. That would probably be terrible for your health. In addition to what other people are saying, it kinda sounds like he doesn't fully understand the biology of the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Like, it is perfectly normal to have your period be late occasionally. If it's a week late or you miss it, you wanna check it out, for health reasons even, but that doesn't 100% mean you're pregnant. Also, you can't take Plan B every time you have sex, JC.